The practice that we're going to do today is some of the same breathing practices, concentrating on the lower part of the abdomen. And we're also going to do a practice of alternate nostril breathing. When we do the practice of alternate nostril breathing, what happens is that our nervous system comes into balance. We have the solar energy on the right side that's more active. It's the sympathetic nervous system. And then we have the lunar energy on the left side that's more the parasympathetic nervous system. And when we talk about bringing the system into balance, we're talking in part about bringing down overactivity in the sympathetic nervous system. So if we're feeling triggered, or if we're feeling hypervigilant or irritable, anxious, we have that kind of woo kind of energy of something needs to change. I need to, there's some kind of anxiety or compulsion to settle. Then what we're doing when we're doing the alternate nostril breathing is we're letting that come down. So that's down regulating. And then when we're working with the left side, which is the parasympathetic nervous system, we're bringing that side up so that the relaxation response can engage. And oftentimes when we have stress or depression, which are kind of two opposites of the poles, those are both helped by doing alternate nostril breathing, and they can also exist at the same time. So we can be anxious and depressed. And that you often see that with trauma, with PTSD, you'll have anxiety and depression at the same time. And a really common, I won't say universal, but although it may be, but it's really common to have disturbed breathing when we're anxious or depressed or stressed or depressed. And what tends to happen when we're anxious and we have overactivity in the sympathetic nervous system, where that kind of engagement, is we breathe in and then we hold the breath, and there's that's what the fear breathing, the anxiety breathing is. And so regular diaphragmatic breathing without any pauses, that's continuous and smooth, like we work with, is really helpful to disengage that anxiety breath. If we're depressed, we're more likely to have the left nostril open, and you'll often see people kind of hanging their head over to one side with the left nostril up. And then there's a pause. And it's just like, it feels like life is too much. I can't take that in breath yet. And so regulating the breath, just regular old plain diaphragmatic breathing that's continuous and smooth, about the same length on the inhale as the exhale, that's part of what we're doing, is regulating that system of over anxiety or depression. Alternate nostril breathing in particular engages the vagus nerve, which is part of the polyvagal system, which engages the whole nervous system. So working with alternate nostril breathing is a recommended practice for everybody, because everybody could use more balance. Most of us aren't completely balanced, but also it directly engages the sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous system in the right nostril and the left nostril. And the way it works or relates to digestion is that we should have our digestifier working when we eat. And if the right nostril is not open when we eat, then our digestifier is not very active. So the recommendation is to do some alternate nostril breathing before you eat, partly because it's kind of an easy way to remember to do it. So it's good to do the practice 2 or 3 times a day. Why not just do it before breakfast, lunch, and supper? And then it has the added benefit of calming our system down and balancing us so we can be more engaged with the food. And to notice if the right nostril is not engaged, to bring your mind through the right nostril and just really focus on opening it. Or to wait for a while and go and do something else, maybe have some hot water or something to drink, and then notice what your nostril's doing in another half an hour or 20 minutes or something. And so some people don't have the time space to wait. The thinking on it is that if the left nostril's open, then you're not really hungry. When the right nostril is open, that's when the body is hungry. So it might be time for lunch. It might be 12 o'clock and you have a 12:30 lunch break or something. But it might not be time for your body to be digesting food then. So that's one of the ways that we can work with the whole solar energy in the right side and lunar energy in the left side. And doing this, so we don't even need to know all of that background in order to do the practice. But that's what's going on in the background, is that we're working with the solar energy is necessary, fire is necessary to digest. And so we want to have the lunar energy and the solar energy in balance through practices like alternate nostril breathing. And also we want to have the right nostril open when we're going to eat food, because that will help the digestive fire. And that really helps, that speaks a lot to allergies and food sensitivities as well, which I've certainly had my share of. And there are several habits that we have around eating that cause problems with our digestion. One is that we tend to drink cold fluids with meals, and that douses the digestive fire. Another way that we make it hard for our digestion to work is that when we eat too much. In Ayurveda and yoga, they recommend a third food, a third warm liquid, and a third air. And that's a good ratio, basically, so that the digestive system can still work. So if we put too much food in there, we've taken out the room for the air. And air, fire needs oxygen, right? So we don't have any room for the digestive process to happen. Let's do the practice this morning. We'll do the breathing with the lower belly, and then we'll go into some alternate nostril breathing. So this will be primarily a sitting practice. If you wanted to sit towards the front of your chair, or in some manner so that you can sit upright, so you have some length through the spine. Bring your attention to the whole body for a moment. Just notice how your whole body feels right now. Our experience in the body is always on several layers. We have the physical, so notice how your physical body feels. This would be where we would notice if the forehead or the jaw, back of the shoulders, the stomach, if there's contraction in those areas. And there's also that overall sense of the body from head to toes, how we're sitting, different sense perceptions like touch and temperature. So sitting tall, relax the shoulders, lots of length through the whole diaphragm area, the ribs to the stomach. And then we have the layer of prana, the energy in the breath. We can notice that on an overall basis as well. Kind of what is our energetic feel at the moment? Do we feel sluggish? Do we feel calm? What does our overall energy feel like this morning? And also the breath. Noticing the breath, the prana or the energy layer often is worked with through the breath, although they're slightly different. But notice the breath, notice the pattern and rhythm of your breath in your nose and in your stomach area. And then there's the mental layer, the thought stream. Sometimes the thought stream is fairly calm. Sometimes there's a lot of activity there. And there's the space in which all of this is coming up to be seen, the witnessing of it as well. And that sense of what it is that's not engaged in this, what it is that doesn't change. And then bring your attention into the lowest part of your stomach area, that band of muscles that is right above the pubic bone. And as you're exhaling and inhaling, keep the breath rhythm about the same. See if it can be about the same length of exhale and inhale, continuous, kind of relaxed. And then as you exhale, create that squeeze, contract the lower part of the belly and bring it back towards the spine. And then inhale, smoothly release. And as you're contracting that part of the lower belly, check the rest of your body. Sometimes some tension will come up and we find we're doing that contraction with the toes or with the eyebrows or something. See if you can keep your whole body relaxed except for that band of muscles as you exhale, squeeze. And then bring a little bit of attention into that rolling motion, squeeze through the lowest part of the belly and then a few inches above that. And then on the inhale, release in the opposite order. So release the higher muscles first and then the lower belly. Same even rhythm, same relaxation through the whole body. And exhale, squeeze through the lower belly and then bring that up like a rolling pin, a little bit higher, and then release on the inhale. Visualize that digestive fire. Be aware of the navel center, right a few inches behind the belly button. If you're visual, you could visualize a fire beginning to burn more brightly in that area. Not a raging fire, but more of a robust, vibrant fire. Working with this gentle contraction can be quite strong, but not overdoing it either. Lower belly, a few inches higher than that. And then either continuing to do that, or if you're working with the Kapalabhati, do a little bit of that. So more of a faster exhale, same part of the lower belly that you're working with. Let the inhale happen normally. And then letting the breath come back to normal. Let go of that contracting and squeezing in the lower part of the belly. Let the stomach muscles just relax. And bring your attention up to the nose, to the nostrils, and focus on the flow of the breath in the nostrils. Noticing which of the nostrils has more flow and which has less. You can block one nostril off and then the other if you're not sure. And then beginning with an exhalation from the eyebrow center through the active nostril. Go from the active nostril from the eyebrow center to the base of the nose where the nostrils meet the upper lip. If you're using your hands, bring your hands up into position first. Block off the passive nostril just as the exhale starts and breathe only through the active nostril. And then when you're finished that exhalation, change nostrils so you're breathing in through the passive nostril. Continue that pattern like the breath is moving in a circle. Exhale through the active nostril, inhale through the passive nostril. And then change direction. Exhale now through the passive nostril and inhale through the active nostril. Using your thumb and ring finger to block off one nostril and then the other, going from side to side after each single breath. And then bring your hand down and follow the flow of the breath in both nostrils, eyebrow center to the base of the nose. Feeling that coolness of the in-breath as it flows over the membranes in the nose. Bring your attention with the breath from the base of the nose to the eyebrow center and back. Relaxing your forehead, the eyes, shoulders, the whole body relaxed, following this flow of the breath. And then bring your hand up into position so you can block off one nostril and the other with the ring finger and the thumb. And this time we're going to use a complete breath pattern. So as you're exhaling, exhale and inhale through the active nostril. And then exhale and inhale through the passive nostril. Switch from side to side as you begin each exhalation. And the next time you finish your exhalation on the passive side, bring your hand down. Follow the flow of the breath with your awareness from eyebrow center to the base of the nose and back. The breath may or may not be equal in both nostrils, the flow of the breath, but let your awareness be equal in both nostrils. The same focused balance awareness of the breath. Exhale and inhale with the attention in both nostrils equally. And then bring your hand up into position to block off now the passive nostril as you exhale. Exhale and inhale only through the active nostril. The whole body relaxed, following this flow of the breath in the nose, just through the active nostril. On your next inhalation, finish that in the active nostril and switch over to the passive. Exhale and inhale only through the passive nostril. Keeping your attention flowing with the breath. And then bring your hand down, follow the flow of the breath again in both nostrils. Eyebrow center to the base of the nostrils. If there are thoughts coming in and disturbing that concentration on the flow, see if you can let those thoughts be a bit in the background. Focus on this fine, even, calm breathing, the flow of the breath in the nostrils, the flow of awareness, eyebrow center to the base of the nose and back. And notice which nostril is more active. If the right nostril is open and you're planning to eat, that would be helpful for your digestive system to have the right nostril open. And if it's time to eat and your right nostril isn't open, you can always focus your mind more strongly now on the awareness of the flow of the breath in the right nostril. Intend with your mind that engage and become active. can also lie down on your left side, and that will help to activate the right nostril. And then when you're ready, continuing to be aware of the whole body and of the relaxation in the body, the flow of the breath. When you're ready, open your eyes.